The Supreme Court has upheld prayer at public meetings. The ruling on Monday was 5-4. Prayers can be presented at official government meetings. No violation of the Constitution. All rise. Judge Andrew Napolitano is here. All right, Judge, that was a 5-4 Conservative majority.
Indeed.
Is it true to say that there are 5 Conservatives on the Supreme Court?
Well, if you look at the Sebelius case, which is the Affordable Care Act, it was 5-4 the other way because the Chief Justice sided with the liberals. So when there is a swing justice, usually Justice Kennedy, and that justice in the Affordable Care Act, it was Chief Justice Roberts, goes with the liberals, then it's 5-4 the other way. So it is not fair to say it is always a 5-4 majority. It is fair to say it is very frequently 5-4, but sometimes 4 liberals plus swing justice, sometimes 4 conservatives plus swing justice.
It's a precarious balance, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But
yes, it is.
Under what circumstances could the conservatives or the liberals obtain a clear majority, which is not permanent, obviously, but a clear-cut majority? Under what circumstances?
I mean, occasionally there are 6-3 opinions. Sometimes in civil liberties areas you have, as in the Bush terror era cases, there were 5 of them, and all 5 of them went against the government, and there were all sorts of different majorities. One was 9-0, one was 6-3, some were 5-4. You sometimes find some unusual alliances when you're dealing with civil liberties, where the left and the right outnumber the middle. But for the most part, it pretty much stays with the 4 conservatives and the 4 liberals staying together, each side trying to woo Justice Anthony Kennedy, and the conservatives appeering to be more successful more frequently than the liberals, but not always.
Is that going to change? Will one side or the other?
Well, it will change.
Clear winners?
It will change with the passage of time as the makeup of the court changes. There's an effort right now.
Okay, which way do you think it's going to go?
It depends who the president is.
Well, I'm going to make the rash assumption that President Obama is succeeded by a Republican. In that case, do you think that the Conservatives will get a clear majority?
Yes, I would think it would be fair to say that Justice Ginsburg will leave the court in the next 6 years, which is the 2 years remaining on the president's term, and the term of whoever succeeds Barack Obama in the White House. So if that person is a Republican, and if the Senate is a majority Republican or close to majority Republican, then that president will likely have his or her choice to replace Justice Ginsburg.
If it's Hillary Clinton who is the next president of the United States,
then she would choose probably a very youthful, very liberal jurist to replace the senior but very liberal Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Supposing the Republicans do not win the Senate this November, doesn't that give President Obama another 2 years to appoint and probably get through a liberal?
Well, now we get into this area of what is the health of Justice Ginsburg and what is her determination to stay on the court. She has found herself in the unenviable and surely unpredictable position of resisting some of her former strongest supporters. She is clearly an academic and very much a woman of the left. Her whole career has been there proudly and unabashedly so. And yet it is the left that is trying to force her off the court. They want her to resign now. While Barack Obama's in the White House and the Democrats still control the Senate, they fear the Democrats will lose control of the Senate in November. And should she choose, or should nature choose, for her to leave the court while Barack Obama is president, he will not be able to appoint a replacement just as liberal. I must tell you that I was recently at an event with Justice Scalia where I was interrogating him, and at the end of the event we took questions from the audience. It was lawyers, law students, and judges. One of the wisecracking law students stood up and said, "Justice Scalia, there's a lot of pressure on Justice Ginsburg to retire, and she says she doesn't want to. Would you do her a favor and retire in her place?"
Ooh.
He replied by saying, "You know what, kid? I said I would take questions. I didn't say I would answer them."
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.